transferring to Hugo internal power at this time. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. Go for auto sequence start.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Go for main engine start. Main engine start.
2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Liftoff. We have liftoff of the Hugo.
Goddard now controlling flight of the Hugo. All systems performing nominally.
Hugo already 5 kilometers in altitude and 2.4 kilometers downrange, traveling at almost 1200 kph.
Everything looking good on the Big Bird.
Did we get a welcome? I don't know, but good evening. I'm Andrea Hairston, and I'd like to welcome you to Washington, a federal city, a federal city of moonshots and gridlock that loves poetry, prose, and oratory in equal measure. Washington loves debate, but not all debates are created equal. The question of who and who is not a true fan is a pox on our shared community. Sealing gates that should be thrown open, no word count, written or read, and no stat memorized or achieved qualifies you for membership in this club or disqualifies another. The only status that matters is showing up now and paying it forward to the future.
Good evening. I'm Sheree Renée Thomas. And tonight is a celebration, but it's also a call to action. Only a mile from here, at Washington National Cathedral, Dr. Martin Luther King delivered his final Sunday sermon just 4 days before he was assassinated. Despite the ecumenical setting, parts of Dr. King's speech were positively science fiction, and even more prescient 53 years later.
He spoke of automation and cybernation. He said that a technological revolution had dwarfed distances and placed time in chains to make the wide world a single neighborhood. It is that inescapable network of mutuality where we must learn to live as family or perish together as fools.
Dr. King warned us that mere passages of time, of centuries, will not cure history's ills. It's a self-evident truth explored in high fantasy and hard science fiction, and attested as fact by the challenges our nation still faces today. But we can imagine better worlds. Dr. King asked that people of goodwill put their bodies and souls in motion to redeem the promissory note of a just, equitable, and bright future. As an earnest community of limitless imagination, he was speaking to each and every one of us today.
To all my fellow fans here tonight, and to all those watching around the globe, remember that moment when you sense the infinite promise of storytelling to sway the future. Tonight is for us, but tomorrow, remember this and pass it along. This strange new world can be the one we choose and build together, and our fandom carries the fire that lights the way. So we're waiting on some drummers. Because we want to
I thought I was in DC. Where's the drum line?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you so much to the Duke Ellington School of the Arts Radical Elite Drum Line for for that amazing performance. Thank you. We're so fortunate to have them with us tonight. DisCon 3 wouldn't have been the same without them. Now, we're so very pleased to welcome you all to the Hugo Awards ceremony here at the 79th WorldCon. Now, the history of the WorldCon is that such that, well,
Wait, hold on. Whoa.
Was that is this a motorcade? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
I think I started to feel like a real Washingtonian.
Don't let anyone hear you call yourself
Oh my. That's what it's like to live in Washington?
Yeah, no, you're not a real Washingtonian. I mean, folks who have lived here for 40 years still don't qualify. As I mentioned, this city is no stranger to debate. And, as is the case every year, these awards will be hotly debated.
Well, we have an amazing selection of finalists this year, and each and every one of them deserve our praise and applause. And the Hugos are very special and unique. They're not decided by a select committee or some smoke-filled room of potty bosses.
No faceless high councils control the Hugo's destiny. They're voted on by the fans, who are represented by WorldCon members.
Now, let's start our celebration with the most vital part of the community, the reason that all of us are here tonight, the fans.
So, yeah, the fans, applaud yourselves. The first Hugo is Best Fanzine. Fanzines are obsessive labors of love. People who are passionate about a subject collect interviews, write poems and short stories, create art. They organize all of that into volumes and then share it worldwide.
The Best Fanzine is a fan-produced publication that releases a minimum of 4 issues, at least one of which was published in 2020. And the finalists are The Full Lid, written by Alistair Stewart, edited by Marguerite Kenner. Journey Planet, edited by Michael Carroll, John Coxon, Sarah Felix, Anne Gree, Sarah Gouldy, Alyssa McCursey, Eric Nonnelly, Stephen H. Silver, Paul Trimble, Aaron Underwood, James Bacon, and Chris Garcia. Lady Business, editors Ira, Jody, KJ, Renee, and Susan. Nerds of a Feather Flock Together, edited by Adri Joy, Joe Sheree, The G, Vance Catrola. Quick Sip Reviews, editor Charles Paysur. Unofficial Hugo Book Club blog, edited by Amanda Walker-Ruck and Olav Rockney. And the Best Fanzine Hugo Award goes to Nerds of a Feather Flock Together, Joe Sheree, Adri Joy, G. Brown, and Vance Catrola.
Nerds of a Feather Flock Together is a review and news blog for all things nerdy. Staffed by a team of writers from all areas of fandom, they seek to discover the best content currently produced by genre creators. This is the 5th nomination and first win in Best Fanzine for Nerds of a Feather Flock Together.
Whew, that actually happened. Okay. So I'm flying solo tonight because the rest of the team of Nerds of a Feather are not able to be here for a bunch of really good reasons. But Adri, Vance, and the G, this whole thing would not have been nearly as much fun or satisfying if I wasn't working with you guys. I'd like to thank and acknowledge the various writers of Nerds of a Feather, both past and present. It's our names on the trophy, but it's your writing every day that's actually making this possible. You're the best team of writers that we ever could have asked for, and you carried us along. You're the ones who earned this. Thank you. Aiden Mower is one of the biggest reasons I'm still an active part of fandom. You may know him from when he ran A Dribble of Ink and his really great Hugo acceptance speech a number of years ago. I know him as a blogging colleague and a friend for the last 15 years. But if Aiden didn't put my name in the ear of the G a number of years ago, right when I was about to basically get out of all this, I wouldn't be here. And this is really, holy crap, that's awesome. I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Kate, who often asks me if I'm working on blog stuff when I'm sitting on the couch grumbling at my laptop. I love you. Thank you for all the support. And since we left the kids at home with the grandparents, we're totally going to celebrate with an adult beverage tonight. And finally, to all of the writers and the artists and fans out there putting in the work, giving us a genre to love and a community to share it with, this is an absolute dream. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was wonderful. Next is the Hugo for Best Fan Cast. The best and most interesting conversations come about when people with common interests get around a table together and share their deep excitement through talk.
Fan casts give us a seat at that table and make us part of that conversation. This award recognizes fan-produced audio or video periodicals that celebrate science fiction or fantasy in 2020. The finalists are Be the Serpent, presented by Alexander Rowland, Freya Mask, and Jennifer Mace. Claire Rousseau's YouTube channel, produced by Claire Rousseau. The Coode Street Podcast, presented by Jonathan Strawn and Gary K. Wolfe. Jonathan Strawn, producer. Colonnade, produced and presented by Rachel. The Skiffy and Fanty Show, produced by Sean Duke and Jen Zink. Presented by Sean Duke, Jen Zink, Alex Axe, Paul Weimer, and David Annandale. World Building for Masochists, presented by Rowena Miller, Marshall Ryan Maresca, and Cass Morris. And the best fan cast Hugo goes to the Coode Street Podcast, presented by Jonathan Strawn and Gary K. Wolfe. Jonathan Strawn, producer.
On the Coode Street Podcast, hosts Jonathan Strawn and Gary K. Wolfe discuss their deepest thoughts on science fiction and occasionally invite guests. The Coode Street Podcast has been nominated 8 times for Best Fan Cast, and this is their first win.
Is this me? Okay. I'm Gary Wolfe. I'm going to read, first of all, what Jonathan sent. He's in Perth, Australia, which is pretty much Mars. I'm reading what Jonathan wrote. He said, I'd like to thank Gary Wolfe. If we've won the Hugo and he's forced to read this, then you should know what I know. This is on him, and for more than 10 years, I've been luckier than I deserve to be. Thank you, Jonathan Strawn. Okay. Yeah. He's lying. The whole thing was his idea. 10 years ago or so, Jonathan and I had each had long, ongoing conversations with the then editor of Locus magazine, Charles Brown, who died. And then we started talking to each other, and then he said, let's record these things and see what happens. And what happened has lasted a decade now. And the people I'd like to thank, I think we need to thank the people who made it possible in our homes to get the space to do this. In Jonathan's house, I think we have to recognize the time that he was given by Jessica, by Sophie, and by Marianne. In my house, I have to thank my partner Dale Haynes for letting me do this. And most of all, I think we have to thank our guests, our many guests over the years, which have included Andrea and Sheree and many of you. And finally, thanking all the people who decided to listen to this for whatever reason for any number of years. And they introduced deep thoughts. Yeah, well, if you think they're deep thoughts, fine. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying to convince you that they're deep. But hey, at least they're thoughts. Thank you.
Turn my page here. Art requires many things, including inspiration. For some, that inspiration comes from the natural world or from lived experiences. For others, it comes from the amazing creative output of the science fiction community.
The Best Fan Artist Award honors creators whose work has appeared in fanzines, semi-prozines, or the other public non-professional displays. Tonight's finalists are Ian J. Clark, Cyan Daly, Sarah Felix, Grace P. Bong, Maya Hato, Leah Rose, and the Best Fan Artist, winner of the 2021 Hugo Award, is Sarah Felix.
Sarah Felix is an artist based in Austin, Texas, working in mixed media. She designed the 2016 Hugo base and co-designed the 2018 base. Sarah Felix has been nominated 3 times for Best Fan Artist, and this is her first win in this category.
It's heavy, right? It's really heavy. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you, everybody. I'm a little nervous. I want to thank my family who, after this year, had to put up with me telling them all the time to get out of my craft room because I'm on Zoom or making something. I want to thank for all the people every week who supported my tiaras and just said how great they were, and it kept me going because it was so hard this year. And I also want to thank all of the fanzines who allowed me to do art for them and asked me, because that was the greatest thing for me. And I just really love this community, and I love to support all the fans out there. So thank you very much.
And now, the Best Fan Writer. Writing is a labor, and few know that better than fan writers who write about the state of our community that we call fandom. They are writers, reviewers, critics, and journalists who view our fiction, art, and industry with a critical lens. As fan writers, they work mainly for love. which distinguishes them from the pro and the semi-pro writers.
This award celebrates those who have produced writing in the semi-pro zines, fanzines, or in electronic media in 2020. The finalists are Cora Bullard, Charles Pezor, Jason Sanford, Paul Weimer, Alastair Stewart, and Elsa Hunison. And the best fan writer Hugo goes to Elsa Hunison.
Elsa Hunison is an American speculative fiction writer, editor, media critic, and disability rights activist. She writes in multiple genres, but is best known for her work in nonfiction and has been a Hugo Award finalist 7 times. This is Elsa Hunison's second nomination and first win for Best Fan Writer.
Congratulations.
By Elsa Hunison, published by the Hugo Awards, presented by DisCon 3. The last time I stood on a Hugo Awards stage, I was in a deeply unhappy marriage. And by 2020, when the year of consideration for my fan writing work for this award season began, I was divorced. I had moved across the country, a world away from my home of 10 years, back to the home of my childhood. This community kept me going. This work was how I processed my grief around the divorce, the pandemic, the experiences I had, and the events that I witnessed as a protester for Black Lives Matter. Fan writing helped me to grow, to grieve, to process. Fan writing helped me to do something with myself when things got too hard. I am standing 2,764 miles away from the ballroom where this award is being given. I can hear the cheers of my friends and family. I can hear your cheers through the internet. And if fandom and fan writing can help me to grow, then I can help fandom to grow. That's always been my style. To push people, to include disabled people in their stories, in their communities, and in representation. And today, I want to remind you that we still have to kick down doors. It is possible to hold a hybrid Worldcon and to include more people than can be in the room today. Like I can't be in the room today, but I could be on panels. I could be here speaking to you. It is possible to have Worldcons that respect the name. That means the world. We include fans of all nationalities, religions, abilities, and more, and we host Worldcon in more places in the world than just the United States. I dream of a world where the criticism that I write isn't necessary, where I no longer have to shout into the void to protect minority members of fandom like me. But we're not done kicking down doors. So I'll keep writing and shouting and banging on tables until we can all be fans together on equal footing, because that is what fandom is about. I want to close with some thanks. First, to my fellow finalists, you're all amazing, and the fandom world is better because of the work that we do. My 2 sisters, Asher and Kenna, my crit buddy, Meg Elison, my inimitable colleagues, Mitchie Troda, Ada Palmer, Amanda Cherry, Laura Ann Gilman, Mary Robinette Cole, and so many others I will fail to name but adore. And I want to acknowledge my partner, Nate. He pushes me to always say what's on my mind and hates it when I watch movies that make me make me crabby. I promise that I won't watch Coda tonight, and I love you, and there's a lot of these. So thank you so much to everyone, but not just the people who read my work and champion it, but the people who disagree with me, because your arguments make me better. Thank you. This has been a live Elsa Hunison Out essay. I'm out.
Wow, that was wonderful.
Thank you, yes.
Now, it's important to note that you don't have to create art to be a fan. Some fans are super passionate about worlds they didn't create at all. For example, the finalists in our next category, the tireless editors my people.
Yeah, ooh, yes. Editors make a lot of tough decisions. They elevate the work of others, often with very little credit. They're dedicated to polishing, sharpening, and refining, and they're often the first to really believe in a creator. They support the art and the artists because they love the work, the genre, the medium, and want the creators to succeed.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself, Andrea. The Hugo for Best Editor short form recognizes persons who've edited at least 4 science fiction or fantasy anthologies, collections, or magazine issues with at least 1 published in 2020. The finalists are Neil Clark, Ellen Datlow, C.C. Finley, Murray Lafferty and S.B. Divya, Jonathan Strawn, Sheila Williams, and the winner of the 2021 Hugo Award for Best Editor Short Form is Ellen Datlow.
Ellen Datlow has been nominated for Best Editor Short Form 8 times, and this is her 7th win. These are only a fraction of the awards her work has earned across genres. Ellen Datlow is currently acquiring and editing science fiction, fantasy, and horror for Tor.com.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone at Tor.com for allowing me to continue publishing such wonderful stories and novellas. Thank you to my book publishers. Thanks to all the writers who continue to have faith in me as an editor, as their editor especially. And thank you to all who voted for me. And thanks to my fellow nominees who were brilliant. And I'm out of breath, I can't believe it. But anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now comes the Hugo for Best Editor Long Form, which celebrates persons who have edited at least 4 science fiction or fantasy novel-length books published in 2020. The finalists are Nivea Evans, Sheila E. Gilbert, Sarah Guan, Breet Vida, Diana M. Foe, and Nava Wolf. Oh, and I've got to open the envelope, not just get excited, because they're all great. Oh my goodness, Best Editor Long Form, Diana M. Foe.
Diana M. Foe has over 15 years of experience in publishing and currently works as story producer at Realm, where she uses audio drama to create great genre stories. Diana M. Foe has been nominated 4 times for Best Editor Long Form, and this is her first win in this category.
I thought I should have brought cocktail napkins, damn it. Okay. This feels like a year of impossible choices, and I am still so grateful. It was so unspeakably painful to live the last 18 months knowing sharply your breath, the very words out of your mouth, can kill. Strangers, loved ones, the vulnerable. It makes you so afraid to speak. It makes you second guess your choices. It makes you, even now being vaxxed, tested, boosted, all that is not enough. Perhaps I am not enough. But I have done
I have now nothing except my words, my breath by which to make this known. It is so hard to feel the pressure and the honor to have the Hugo Award tonight. Everyone in this room and online has probably felt this ambivalent feeling. Every BIPOC person or queer person, or if you're disabled, or any marginalization that this world has made you feel rejected and unknown and unappreciated, possibly have felt this feeling of making impossible choices. To finally gain and enjoy your glories at some kind of expense or judgment. Some kind of sacrifice or self-guessing that people outside of this experience perhaps cannot grasp. I am so grateful, and yet I am so sorry. But you, all of you, help instill in me that something beautiful is happening, that our passion, our creativity, our art can still exist even in the face of death. And maybe in this glorious moment, we can feel triumphant. I'd like to thank the WorldCon community for your support. My beautiful wife, Ashley, I love you so much. My family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, Patrick, Kim, and Daniel. Fandom from getting me through the roughest times. My authors for being the inspiration and my drive. Special thanks to Jamie Go, Anna and Jeff Vandermeer, Kate Thomas Bradford, Beth Phelan, Eileen Wong, Alex White, L.D. Lewis, Charlie Jane Anders, Margaret Killjoy, Miriam Rochek, Annalise Lenowitz, Liz Gorinsky, Erin Commons. You know why. My wonderful nominees, I love you guys so much. Sheila, Sarah, Nivea, Britt, and Nava, the Hot Pot Aunties, and the Blob. Thank you. My ancestors who guide me, and the publishing mentors who have fostered me. Everyone I have not mentioned but still hold in my heart tonight and forevermore. Thank you all. Be well, protect, and love each other. Thank you.
To present the next award, we'd like to welcome someone who has a long history with fandom. WorldCon Vice Chair, Marguerite Smith.
Thank you so much, Sheree and Andrea. I am extremely excited to present the Hugo for Best Semi-Prozine. That means a non-professional publication devoted to science fiction or fantasy that either paid its contributors or staff, or that was generally available for paid purchase. The finalists are Beneath Ceaseless Skies, edited Scott H. Andrews. Escape Pod, editors Mur Lafferty and S.B. Divya. Assistant editor Benjamin C. Kinney. Hosts Tina Connolly and Alistair Stewart. Audio producers Summer Brooks and Adam Prott, and the entire Escape Pod team. FIA magazine of Black speculative fiction, publisher Troy L. Wiggins, executive editor Devon Sanders, managing editor Ebony Dunbar, poetry editor Brandon O'Brien, reviews and social media Brent Lambert, art director L.D. Lewis, and the FIA team. Podcastle, editors C.L. Clark and Jen R. Albert, assistant editor and host, Setsu Uzume, producer Peter Adrian Baravesh, and the entire Podcastle team. Uncanny Magazine, editors-in-chief Lynn N. Thomas and Michael Damian Thomas, managing editor Chim Edum Ohewu, nonfiction editor Elsa Hunason, podcast producers Erica Ensign and Stephen Shapansky. Strange Horizons, the Strange Horizons editorial collective whose names you see on the screen. And the winner is FIA magazine of Black speculative fiction, Troy L. Wiggins, Devon Sanders, Ebony Dunbar, Brandon O'Brien, Brent Lambert, L.D. Lewis, Danny Lord, and Caleb Russell.
FIA magazine of Black speculative fiction was established to discover and elevate Black excellence in science fiction and fantasy. This intersectional home for the future of Black SFF is known for being a literary incubator and a middle finger to the establishment. This is FIA's third nomination and first win in the category of Best Semi-Prozine.
Oh my God. Wow. First and foremost, I love this woman more than anything in the entire world. The road to this stage tonight was it was paved with resilience, incredible hard work, and the FIA's team just love for our community and each other. Love has always been our baseline. And why is that? It's because, unfortunately, it has always been and continues to be a fact that science fiction and fantasy doesn't hold real space for Black people unless we make it. It doesn't hold space for BIPOC, queer, disabled, marginalized creators and fans unless we make it. And even as we receive this honor tonight, I'm under no illusion that our work can pause here. In fact, history bears it out that when Black people make strides in the world, it's always met with backlash. Even our successes, unfortunately, become new burdens. But history also bears out that from our burdens, we can make miracles. LD and me being on this stage tonight, it's a miracle our ancestors fought for. And for them, we will continue this incredible journey. And I just want to thank all of you for being a part of this with us. And I gotta let LD say something.
I have nothing.
Okay? No words?
I will see y'all later tonight.
Oh, there we go. Thank you all again so much.
Wow.
I knew it would be a historic night.
Yes, yes, yes. That's, yeah. A miraculous night
A miraculous
that we got
night.
to, we made it here. So,
To present,
wait,
sorry.
where are we? No, I thought it was me. It's me. Is
Go
it
ahead,
me?
dear.
Yeah, okay. So up next,
I'm verklempt.
let's talk about the mass media sci-fi properties that have the biggest reach in this golden age of the geeks. Arguably, they bring more fans into the community than anything else. They're building the next generation of fans, and their work has inspired a lot of people at this convention. Look at The Expanse. That show was so great. Yeah? Someone made a book out of it.
Oh, yay! Beltalota!
Yeah. And so we get to the Hugo for Best Graphic Story or Comic.
This recognizes finalists who have created a science fiction or fantasy story told in graphic form, such as a comic book, a graphic novel, or web comic. The finalists are Die, Volume 2, Split the Party, written by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans. Letters by Clayton Cowles, Image Comics. Ghost Spider, Volume 1, Dog Days Are Over. Author, Shannon McGuire. Artist, Takeshi Miyazawa and Rosie Kempe, Marvel. Invisible Kingdom, Volume 2, Edge of Everything. Author, G. Willow Wilson. Artist, Christian Ward. Dark Horse Comics. Monstrous, Volume 5. War Child. Author, Marjorie Liu. Artist, Sana Takeda. Image Comics. Once and Future, Volume 1. The King is Undead. Written by Kieran Gillen. Illustrated by Dan Mora. Colored by Tamra Bonvillain. Lettered by Ed Dukeshire. Boom Studios. Parable of the Sower, a graphic novel adaptation. Written by Octavia E. Butler. Adapted by Damian Duffy. Illustrated by John Jennings. Harry N. Abrams. And the winner of the 2021 Hugo Award for Best Graphic Story or Comic is Parable of the Sower, a graphic novel adaptation, Octavia E. Butler.
In this adaptation of Octavia Butler's novel, Parable of the Sower, Damian Duffy and John Jennings bring to life the story of Lauren Olamina, a young woman in a dystopian near-future United States with a vision for the future of human survival. This is the duo's first nomination and win for Best Graphic Story or Comic.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone and everyone whose name I'm gonna forget. This is from the Octavia Butler estate, and I should read this first. First and foremost, it is most important to say that Octavia Butler has treasured the 2 previous coveted Hugo Awards she has received during the course of her lifetime and today. On behalf of the Octavia Butler estate and Octavia E. Butler Enterprises, we are deeply honored and proud that this adaptation of Parable of the Sower has been nominated for Best Graphic Novel, which now makes for a 3rd Hugo Award for Octavia Butler. Again, we are most appreciative for receiving this award on behalf of Octavia Butler. Thank you. And then this is from me and my collaborator, John Jennings. He couldn't be here because his family is moving this weekend because the world is the worst, but whatever, it's fine. So from John and I both, thank you to obviously Octavia E. Butler because she's a genius and awesome and why we do anything. And thank you to the Butler estate, not only for that speech, but for letting us work with them to do these adaptations. Thank you to our editor, Charlotte Greenbaum, and our editorial consultant, the great Tanana Reeve-Dew. Thank you to Nalo Hopkinson for writing our introduction, and to our many color flatters, who I don't have a list of names, but you know who you are, and thank you. And thank you to Charlie Kochman, to Maya Bradford, to everyone at Abrams Comic Arts. On behalf of John, thank you to his wife, Tawana, and their son, Jackson, who was born during the creation of this book. So of course I have to thank my family now. Thank you to my parents, my mom, Sharon, my wife, Jen, my son, Simon, my daughter, Gwen. Thank you also to Chris and Jeff for giving me a space to drink beer and not have a nervous breakdown waiting for the announcement of this award. I'm in Jeff's place right now. That was Jeff. And then well, it's such an honor and a privilege to collaborate with Octavia's words and to win this award and to be part of all of this. I wish even more that the Earthseed books, their dystopian warning of a capitalistic hellscape, were not so prescient. And I hope that Octavia's advice for hope and resistance for the future is more carefully attended. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone I forgot. Thank you. Thank you.
And now the Hugo for Best Professional Artist.
To present this award, please welcome illustrator and art director, Vice Chair of DisCon 3, Lauren Ray Snow.
The finalists in the category of Best Professional Artist are world builders and magic makers, engineers and alchemists. They summon the landscape of what we can dream, illustrate moments of our greatest joys, and shape what we see as we peer into the future of the genre. All of these creators are instrumental in defining what science fiction and fantasy looks like for fans all across the globe. It is my honor to introduce the finalists. Tommy Arnold, Ravina Kai, Galen Dara, Maurizio Manzieri, John Picasso, Alyssa Winans, and the Hugo Award for Best Professional Artist goes to Ravina Kai.
Ravina Kai is a freelance illustrator from Melbourne, Australia, and is best known for her ethereal use of light and dark to evoke poetic imagery. Her work ranges from book covers to interior art, posters, and other illustrated books. Ravina Kai has been nominated twice for Best Professional Artist, and this is her first win.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. So next is the Hugo for Best Dramatic Presentation Short Form. It is given to a dramatized audio or video production of less than 90 minutes. The finalists are Doctor Who, Fugitive of the Judoon, written by Renée Patel and Chris Chibnall, directed by Nida Manzoor, BBC. The Expanse, Gagamelu, written by Dan Noack, directed by Nick Gomez, Alsun Entertainment, Alsun Television Group, Amazon Studios, Hive Mind, Just So. She-Ra and the Princess of Power, Heart, Parts 1 and 2, written by Josie Campbell and Noelle Stevenson, directed by Jen Bennett and Kiki Manrique. DreamWorks Animation Television, Netflix. The Mandalorian, Chapter 13, The Jedi, written and directed by Dave Filoni. Gollum Creations, Lucasfilm, Disney+. The Mandalorian, Chapter 16, The Rescue, written by Jon Favreau, directed by Peyton Reed. Gollum Creations, Lucasfilms, Disney+. The Good Place, Whenever You're Ready, written and directed by Michael Shore. Fremelin, 3 Arts Entertainment, Universal Television, a division of Universal Studio Group. And the winner is it doesn't want to come out of the envelope. Oh, The Good Place, Whenever You're Ready, written and directed by Michael Shore. Fremelin, 3 Arts Entertainment, Universal Television, a division of Universal Group.
Whenever You're Ready is the series finale for The Good Place, a show about death, demons, the value of humanity, and what we owe to each other. The Good Place has been nominated for Best Dramatic Presentation Short Form 7 times, and this is their 4th win in this category.
Hello, I'm Michael Shore, creator of The Good Place and writer of the episode Whenever You're Ready, which apparently has won a Hugo Award. That is so nice. Thank you so much to everyone who voted for us. It was our series finale, and I am really, truly very proud of that work. Now, I'm sure you're watching this and thinking to yourselves, what is this? What's going on? So, 2 things. Sorry, my hair got in my mouth. 2 things. First, I haven't cut my hair since before the pandemic. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I was told that this video will only actually be played in the event that we win. Obviously, if we don't win and someone else does, they'll play the video of that person, and this one will just be junked. So right now, at this moment in late November, we're in a sort of Schrodinger's cat kind of a situation where the show has both won and not won. And I had this kind of twisted logic where I thought to myself, if I make this video really embarrassing for me, in some weird way, it might sort of tempt fate. It might tempt the universe into making the show win so that this video then leaks out and gets on the internet and everybody can laugh at how ridiculous my hair is. Now, You might think that's crazy logic. You might think that I'm being absurd, but answer me this. If you're watching this and you're even considering that question, it's only because we won. And I was right. So, not so crazy anymore, is it? In any case, if you're watching this and we did win, thank you so much for voting for the show, and thank you, Hugo Awards, for this incredible honor.
And now its sister award, the Hugo for Best Dramatic Presentation, Long Form.
This award celebrates a dramatized audio or video production with a runtime of at least 90 minutes or more. The finalists are Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, written by Christina Hodson, directed by Kathy Yan, Warner Brothers. Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, written by Will Ferrell and Andrew Steele, directed by David Dobkin, European Broadcasting Union, Netflix. The Old Guard, written by Greg Rucka, directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, Netflix, Skydance Media. Palm Springs, written by Andy Ciara and directed by Max Barbacow. Limelight, Sun Entertainment Culture, The Lonely Island, Culmination Productions, Neon, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Soul, screenplay by Pete Docter, Mike Jones, and Kemp Powers, directed by Pete Docter and co-directed by Kemp Powers, produced by Dana Murray, Pixar Animation Studios, Walt Disney Pictures. Tenet, written and directed by Christopher Nolan, Warner Brothers, Syncope. Okay, and the winner is, I don't have to be nice to the envelope, The Old Guard, written by Greg Rucka and directed by Gina Prince Bythewood, Netflix, Skydance Media.
The Old Guard is the tale of a group of centuries-old immortal mercenaries with the ability to heal themselves. The team discovers someone is onto their secret and they must fight to protect their freedom. This is the first nomination and win for both Greg Rucka and Gina Prince Bythewood for Best Dramatic Presentation, Long Form.
Accepting the award is DisCon Chair Advisor Randall Shepard.
Good evening, and I'm going to get to go after a pet cause. 3 years ago, I'm going to use the same line. Hollywood, y'all need to start showing them to pick up your awards. Netflix has got big money, they could be here. I'd like to thank all the members of the society that nominated and participated in selecting the finalists, and the society will see that they get the award. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Greg Rucka. I thought about pretending that I recorded this in advance. I didn't. I didn't because I was so certain the Old Guard would not win the Hugo for Best Long-Form Dramatic Presentation that I engaged in actively trying to forget that the Hugo Awards were happening. And this was made somewhat easier by the fact that I wasn't going to be able to attend the convention as I was in Europe on business. So you can imagine my surprise when I started getting some texts late last night. This is Sunday morning. And it turns out the movie had won. I am still in a state of shock over it. I'm humbled, sincerely humbled. It is so unexpected, especially given the competition the Old Guard was up against this year. And I am feeling a remarkable combination of guilt for not having prepared something in advance, and embarrassment, frankly, because it feels, on top of everything else, incredibly disrespectful to everybody who was there, who did vote, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of Gina Prince Bythewood, our wonderful director, on behalf of everybody behind the scenes who made this movie happen at Netflix, at Skydance, and Denver and Delilah, at Mark Evans Productions. And I'm at a loss for words. And I accept this Hugo Award with incredible pride, because it means the world to me as somebody who grew up reading and watching and living and breathing science fiction and fantasy. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm wearing a Terry Pratchett Ook hat right now, and you guys can see The Office behind me. I have flown this flag proudly all my life, and to be recognized by world science fiction and fantasy for a contribution to the genre, no matter how small, is enormous and meaningful. Wishing everybody a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season and a lovely 2022. Let's change the world for the better, because we're running out of time, folks.
Now, the next Hugo is a special award. Every WorldCon gets to present its own, and DisCon 3 has chosen to honor video games.
In 1950, researchers from the University of Toronto constructed a machine for display at the year's Canadian National Exhibition. This machine, called Bertie the Brain, consisted of a custom-built computer that could play a game of tic-tac-toe against attendees. She was hugely popular and almost unbeatable. Many consider Bertie the Brain to be the first publicly displayed video game.
Since Bertie, video games have evolved from simple computers to incredibly complex systems. We often talk about the games industry in terms of monetary value, but that makes us overlook the deeper reasons video games have such a hold over people.
For many, video games are the main way to experience science fiction and fantasy storytelling. Expansive series like Mass Effect, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy have shown that games are now more than play. They're lived-in spaces where players are free to explore new worlds, new stories, and new identities.
Being able to exist in a world in a different body, even a different gender, allows people to explore newer and, in some cases, truer identities in a way no other medium allows.
Some players use their avatars for representation to finally see themselves on screen.
And some players use these spaces to build safe communities that are not bound by borders or time zones.
And they're the only medium where, at least to some degree, the audience controls the action and the story, allowing for an incredibly personal experience.
It's an honor to present the Hugo for Best Video Game, which recognizes any game or substantial modification of a game first released in 2020 on a major gaming platform in the previous calendar year in the fields of science fiction, fantasy, or related subjects. Now, for these purposes, a game is defined as a work wherein player choice, interaction, or participation significantly impacts the narrative, gameplay, meaning, or experience. The finalists are Animal Crossing, New Horizons, publisher and developer, Nintendo, Blaseball, Publisher and developer, The Game Band. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Publisher, Square Enix. Hades. Publisher, publisher and developer, Supergiant Games. The Last of Us Part 2. Publisher, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Developer, Naughty Dog. Spiritfarer. Publisher and developer, Thunder Lotus. And the Best Video Game Hugo Award winner, our very first video game winner, is Hades. Supergiant Games.
Hades is a roguelike dungeon crawler in which players control Zagreus, the son of Hades, as he attempts to escape from the underworld to reach Mount Olympus. Players are at times aided by gifts bestowed on him from other Olympians, creating unique levels with each playthrough. This is the game's first Hugo nomination and win for Best Video Game.
Hey, I'm Greg Kasavan, writer and creative director at Supergiant Games, and we are incredibly honored to be the first ever recipient of a Hugo Award in the category of Best Video Game. We, myself included, grew up experiencing these classic works of science fiction and fantasy from, Ursula K. Le Guin to Philip K. Dick and what have you. And that's when we first came across the Hugo Award's name, of course, as kids. And so to have earned this distinction all this time later, especially alongside such an incredible slate of nominees, games of all shapes and sizes from teams big and small, it really means the world. Video game storytelling has come a long way over the years, and games are really unique as a medium in that they're interactive. You can really inhabit one of these fantastical worlds and see as it kind of reacts to your every move. And at Supergiant, we've tried to kind of marry the traditions of fantasy and science fiction literature with that unique interactive component and create these worlds that feel as though they're alive as you navigate through them. So we're so grateful that our work on Hades has stood out in that way, and we hope that the Hugo Awards continue to recognize the amazing work being done in this space. I'm so grateful to all my colleagues at Supergiant Games who made Hades possible. It is fundamentally a team effort. Our families and friends and partners who supported us along the way, and of course, the Greek gods themselves, above and below, for inspiring people like us for several thousands of years now, and may they long continue to do so. Thank you very much.
So before we continue, we'd like to recognize and remember the friends and family who are no longer with us. We are all connected. We all feel the absence when one of us leaves to depart on their grandest quests. But there's comfort in sharing our grief and missing our icons and loved ones together.
As we remember those we lost, we ask that you hold any applause until the end of the presentation, out of respect for all members of this list, their friends, and their families. Thank you.
We've known our joys and our regrets, shared them with foes and friends. One day we will again.
Walk as we did before, searching to these are our times are far away. I will always remember you. Always. I will always remember you. Once and again.
Thank you to the Washington Metropolitan Gamers Symphony Orchestra's choir, conducted by interim music director Jamin Morden, for that lovely performance of To Faraway Times. To Faraway Times, go ahead. To Faraway Times is the closing theme to the game Chrono Trigger. Lyrically, the arrangement plays with notions of meeting and parting, as the main characters of Chrono Trigger part with each other when the game ends. It is unclear if they will see each other again. However, since they have met in the future to defeat their enemy in-game, they will, in some sense, meet once more. The composition of this arrangement takes inspiration from modern collegiate a cappella music as opposed to a more classical sound. Thank you again for that beautiful, beautiful performance.
So, we have another batch of categories that are a little offbeat.
Now, these categories lift new voices and material for younger readers and celebrate related works that are vital to the community.
We're just that expansive. To present the next award, let's welcome our guests of honor, Ben Yallo and Nancy Kress.
Ben has attended roughly 800 cons and staffed over 300. He has been a WorldCon division head, co-division head, or assistant division head for 16 different WorldCons, and he's been on the chairman's staff for a half dozen others.
Nancy is the author of 35 books and over 100 short stories. Much of her work explores concerns around genetic engineering. She has won 6 Nebulas, 2 Hugos, a Sturgeon, and the John W. Campbell Memorial Award.
Thank you both. And hello, WorldCon. Hello, Washington, D.C. Hello, world.
And hello, my fellow Smurfs.
WorldCon is a community of creators, historians, futurists, visionaries, and dreamers, which is why it is so important to recognize the works that are bringing young fans into the fold.
The Lodestar Award for Best Young Adult Book honors an exceptional work in the YA space.
The finalists for the Lodestar Award are Cemetery Boys, Aidan Thomas, Swoon Reeds, A Deadly Education, Naomi Novik, Del Rey, Elazzo Way, Darcy Little Badger, Levine Querido, Legendborn, Tracy Dion, Margaret McElderry, Simon & Schuster Children's Publishing, Ray Bearer, Jordan Ifwiko, Amulet Hotke, A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, T. Kingfisher, Argyle Productions.
And the winner is T. Kingfisher, Argyle Productions.
A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking follows a 14-year-old bread wizard and her sourdough starter familiar. Mona's life changes forever when she finds a dead body on her bakery floor. T. Kingfisher has previously been nominated 3 times for Best Short Story, won once for Best Graphic Story, and won once for Best Novelette. This is her first Lodestar Award for Best Young Adult Book.
Oh, thank God, that's much lighter. Whoa, I won a Lodestar. Hot damn. Okay, I know that I should probably talk about the book, but frankly, I wrote that book ages ago, so I would rather talk to you about something that frankly is much more fascinating as far as I'm concerned. No, not potatoes, although those are fascinating. As a speculative fiction writer, I'm talking about aliens, namely the aliens that dwell among us. I am not talking about lizard people. The only lizard people I acknowledge are Sleestacks because they scared the crap out of me as a child. I am talking about slime molds. And it has just occurred to me, I really hope there's an ASL sign for slime mold, or else this is going to be a real long trip. Okay, if you have ever been walking along and you have looked at landscaping that has like mulch or bark chips or something, and you see this sort of weird yellow puffy thing that looks like somebody threw up in it, that was a slime mold. They are amazing. They are about 1 billion years old. They have 720 different sexes. So non-binary friends, the slime mold has your back in spades. And they are far and away the most alien intelligence on Earth. And there's a bunch of species, don't worry about it. The really cool ones are one giant cell that they can be this big across, and there's like a kajillion nuclei in them, but it's still just one cell, and it's covered in receptors. And the receptors can do, light, dark, hot, cold, pH, lots of different chemicals. They're really cool, lots more things than I can detect, frankly. And basically, if you kind of picture a giant single-celled tongue that grows towards food and tastes where it is, and I realize that's an incredibly disgusting image, but that's what we have to work with. That's a slime mold, and it also leaves a slime trail behind it. The amazing thing, though, no brain, single cell, they can kind of think. It's really messed up. It's awesome. They can make these incredibly efficient networks. They can solve mazes. They can, you can teach one to grow across a little bridge, which, I mean, okay, at that point, you're kind of questioning your life choices. Your guidance counselor was like, all right, you're going to grow up to teach slime molds to cross a little bridge. All right. But the amazing thing is, if you have taught the slime mold to cross a bridge, which takes a while, I'm not going to lie, then you put it with a couple of its friends for like an hour or two, All those other slime molds now know how to cross a bridge too. You don't have to teach them. It managed to teach its friends. It has no brain, they have no brain, but it has taught them what it knows. The most amazing one, as far as I'm concerned, is that, this one freaks me out, frankly. You got a slime mold, it's growing along, it's minding its own business. You lower the temperature in the room, and it's like, okay, it's getting cold. I should conserve energy. I won't grow as quickly. And if you raise the temperature again, it's like, all right, it goes back to what it's doing. If you lower the temperature every hour on the hour, the slime mold learns that it is going to get cold every hour, and it slows down before you lower the temperature, which means that A, it has recognized a pattern, it is predicting that that pattern will reoccur in the future, and B, it can tell time. I can't tell how long an hour is without a watch, but the slime mold can. This is just wild, and they live in our mulch. Anyway, thank you to Argyle for publishing the book. Thank you all for voting for it. Thank you to my husband, Kevin, who has learned a lot more about slime molds than he ever wanted to. Incidentally, yes, they are edible. No, you really don't want to. I will leave you with this final thought. You know how I said they can tell light and dark? They have photoreceptors. They can actually pick up multiple wavelengths. So if you stop and lean over and look at the slime mold, not only can it tell you're there, it can tell what color shirt you're wearing. So thank you. Have a great night.
Congratulations to T. Kingfisher and to the evolutionary success of slime molds everywhere.
Thank you so much. We're so glad we could be here with you today. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I love slime mold. Okay, so that brings us to the Hugo for Best Related Work. This award celebrates nonfiction endeavors associated with science fiction, fantasy, or fandom, and appearing for the first time in original or modified form during 2020. The finalists are Beowulf, A New Translation, Maria Devana Headley, FSG, Con Zealand Fringe, Claire Rousseau, C, Cassie Hart, Adri Joy, Marguerite Kenner, Cheryl Morgan, and Alistair Stewart. FIACon, LD Lewis, Director, Brent Lambert, Senior Programming Coordinator, Iori Kusano, and Vita Cruz, FIACon Fringe Co-Directors, and the incredible FIACon team. George R.R. Martin can fuck off into the sun, or the 2020 Hugo Awards ceremony, Rage Blog Edition, Natalie Lors, Pretty Terrible, August 2020. A Handful of Earth, A Handful of Sky, The World of Octavia E. Butler, Linnell George, Angry City Press, and the last BronyCon, A Fandom Autopsy, Jenny Nicholson, YouTube. And, wow, I don't have the...
And the winner is...
Yes. Oh, that's why, because you do.
Yeah.
I was about to panic. I was like, oh, no.
For the 2021 Best Related Work, Hugo goes to Beowulf. Beowulf, A New Translation by Maria Devana Headley. FSG, oh my gosh.
Bro, this new translation of Beowulf brings the epic poem to a new audience using modern language, relatable characters, and the mood of an urban legend. This is Maria Devana Headley's first nomination and win for Best Related Work.
I didn't expect that at all. That was a very awesome and wild category full of amazing people. I did not expect you to say my name. Okay, but I did have a speech, which is good news because I didn't until about 20 minutes ago. Thank you to the Hugo voters for this huge honor. Translating Beowulf into a bar story feels like a very Worldcon kind of activity, and I wish I was in DC to accept this award in person. I'm really bummed, but I got to wear this necklace that is so tangly, and I could only wear it when I was not out in the world. It would be tangled with my mask right now. I owe this translation in large part to the extraordinary community of writers and editors I've met over the past decade in this group of people. Back in 2017, I was nominated for a World Fantasy Award, and the jurors, Elizabeth Engstrom and Betsy Mitchell, were in the audience when I read from my Beowulf novel, The Mere Wife. They asked me when my translation of Beowulf was coming out. And it had not occurred to me at all until that moment that I would ever do a translation of Beowulf. I had no plans. I said I wasn't qualified to do it, and they looked at me and said that I seemed like I was qualified. It was their belief in me that started me down this path. Soon after that, I went on a retreat with more women from this community, with Brooke Bolander, Amal El-Matar, Libba Bray, Holly Black, Kelly Link, Catherine Valenti, Isabel Wills, Annalie Flowerhorn, Caitlin Paxton, Kat Howard, and Sarah McCary. And I asked them if they thought I should start a translation of a 1,000-year-old epic poem with the word bro. They all screamed that I should. So I went forth, bolstered by the brilliant, intrepid, badass women of this field. And soon after by my agent, Stephanie Cabot, who sold it to Sean McDonald at FSG. The history of Beowulf translation has been very much dominated by men, and it's a joyful thing to be able to thank so many women for their work and support in helping me to make this feminist translation a reality. As well, I owe the most infinite thanks to my partner, Will Badger, who's right here, who worked on every draft of this translation, and to the person I was pregnant with while I was doing all of this Old English translation, our son Grimoire, who is sleeping in the back here, whose existence made me consider every part of this poem, especially the parts dealing with parenthood and motherhood, which are many in this poem, in new ways. Added to that, I give thanks for my other experience of parenthood and of writing about the state of the world while making kids' lunches, Sarah Schenken and Joshua Schenken. So much of the history of the world can be parsed through literature. I'm gonna cry. I talk about my kids and I start to sob. This is maybe part of like the oral tradition. So much of the history of the world can be parsed through literature, and so much of it can be looked at in new ways when you look at it through the lens of love, family, community, and care for one another. Even Beowulf, which from the outside is a poem about war, bragging, and status, is on the inside a poem about what people are willing to do for love. So I love you, everyone I just thanked. And I love this generous community too, focused on storytelling, story sharing, and care for one another. Thank you.
The Astounding Award for Best New Writer is sponsored by Dell Magazines and administered by Worldcon. This award is given to the best new writer whose first work of professional fiction was published in the last 2 years.
It celebrates emerging voices, elevates young writers, and unlike other awards, they get a fancy tiara. The finalists this year are Lindsay Ellis, Simon Jimenez, Micaiah Johnson, A.K. Larkwood, Jen Lyons, Emily Tesh, and the winner is Emily Tesh.
Emily Tesh is a two-time finalist for the Astounding Award for the Best New Writer and is the author of the award-winning Green Hollow duology, which begins with the novella Silver in the Wood and concludes with Drowned Country. Her first novel, Some Desperate Glory, will arrive from Tor.com Publishing in 2022.
Emily Tesh couldn't be here today, and I am honored to read her speech for you. I am stunned and delighted, and I only want to say some thank yous. I would like to thank my agent, Kristen Armada, and my editor, Roshi Chen, for championing my books. Thank you as well to the whole team at Tor.com Publishing for everything they have done to bring the Green Hollow duology alive. I would also like to thank my family, and especially Luke and James, for everything. But most of all, thank you, all of you, very much. I'm extremely grateful to DisCon 3 and to everyone who has come together to create this celebration of our genre and our community. Just to be nominated for the Astounding Award is a huge honor, and to win is overwhelming. Thank you.
Now, we would like to bring your attention to one thing. The Astounding Award used to be called the John W. Campbell Award. But a previous winner pointed out Campbell's history of racist and far-right views and his embrace of dangerous pseudoscience.
The conversation that followed in the community led the editor of Dell Magazines, which presents the award, to change the name of that award. It was a moment where uncomfortable conversations led to positive change. We stopped honoring a man whose views had no place on the stage and shifted the focus where it belongs, to the best and brightest new voices out there.
We are happy that this night is about celebrating some of the field's most exciting voices, but we still have more to learn as our community grows.
Exactly. Learning and supporting each other as we rise. Our next Hugo is for Best Short Story.
Now, this award recognizes a science fiction or fantasy story of less than 7,500 words. The finalists are Badass Moms in the Zombie Apocalypse, Ray Carson, Uncanny Magazine, January, February 2020. A Guide for Working Breeds, Vina Jinima, I'm going to try it again. Vina Jiamin Prasad, thank you. Made to Order, Robots and Revolution, edited by Jonathan Strawn, Solaris. Little Free Library, Naomi Kritzer, Tor.com. The Mermaid Astronaut, Yoon-Ha Lee, Beneath Ceaseless Skies, February 2020. Metal Like Blood in the Dark, T. Kingfisher, Uncanny Magazine, September, October 2020. Open House on Haunted Hill, John Wiswell, Diabolical Plots, 2020, edited by David Stephan. And the winner of the 2021 Best Short Story Hugo Award is Metal Like Blood in the Dark, T. Kingfisher, Uncanny Magazine.
Metal Like Blood in the Dark is the story of two sentient machines searching for rare metals on a ruined planet. When their father sends them to the asteroid belt to continue their search, they encounter another of their kind. This is T. Kingfisher's third nomination in this category and first win for Best Short Story.
Was a lot lighter. Okay, this is a little awkward because I only prepared the one speech. So would anyone like some more slime mold facts? Too bad, because you're getting them anyway. Okay, so one of the really amazing things they can do is form these incredibly efficient networks. Like they make most human engineers just can't even measure up. Like if you take a slime mold, if you take a map of Japan, okay, and then you take your slime mold and you put it at Tokyo, again, you have come to a place in your life where this is what you do, and you put oat flakes, because for some reason slime molds really love oat flakes, don't ask me why, at also support the striking workers at Kellogg's, screw those guys. So if you put your not scab flakes at various large cities around Japan, and then you let the slime mold grow, it will pretty much recreate the train system. Like, all the connections from Tokyo to the various cities will be as good as anything humans can do. It's incredible. If you do this with a map of the world and drop it at Beijing, you can recreate the Silk Road, like about 76% of it. These slime molds have this unbelievable ability to form incredibly efficient networks. It's really cool. They're thinking about using them to create, like, new subway systems or new road maps and things. Human engineers go, okay, one here, how about one over here? Maybe one over there. The slime mold's just like boom, 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 we're done. So anyway, support your local slime mold. Thank you all. I should probably thank my mother as well. Thanks, Mom. All right. And this is the last thing I'm up for, so if you want any more slime mold facts, you have to go to the internet yourself.
Our fandom is a universe of its own. We're people who are full of passion.
Or maybe just dedicated to obscure trivia, like slime mold trivia.
Who openly flaunt our fandom.
Or keep it close to our chests.
Who participate in the community out of love.
And maybe even made it our career.
Who've been around this space for a lifetime.
Or who've discovered the fandom recently.
Wherever you are, whoever you are, it's all of us. We're in this all together.
We're in this all together. So now, for the last few Hugos of the night, let's kick them off with the Hugo for Best Novelette. This is awarded to a science fiction or fantasy story of between 7,500 and 17,500 words. The finalists are Burn, or The Episodic Life of Sam Wells as a Super, A.T. Greenblatt, Uncanny Magazine, May-June 2020. Helicopter's Story, Isabel Fall. Clark's World, January 2020. The Inaccessibility of Heaven, Aliette de Bodard, Uncanny Magazine, July-August 2020. Monster, Naomi Kritzer, Clark's World, January 2020. The Pill, Meg Ellison, from Big Girl, PM Press. Two Truths and a Lie, Sarah Pinsker, Tor.com. And the winner is Two Truths and a Lie, Sarah Pinsker, Tor.com.
Two Truths and a Lie tells the story of Stella, a liar who struggles to remember the truth of her childhood past on the Uncle Bob Show. Sarah Pinsker was previously nominated for Best Novella in 2018. This is her first nomination and win for Best Novelette.
Hi there. I thought about talking about slime molds, and then I thought about writing this as a game of two truths and a lie, and then I thought that would make you really mad. So this is just a list of thank yous, and there's nothing just about a thank you speech, because these last 2 years have proven again and again to me how important our interconnection is. I really, really, really wish I could have been there with you, but I want to thank scientists and doctors and nurses, but right this moment, scientists, for the tests that kept me from being there with you tonight and hugging you all. And so here I am at my house again. I want to say thank you to voters and to the voters and to the readers. I want to say thank you to Ellen Datlow, my editor, who I had wanted to work with since I first read the year's best she and Terry Windling edited, even though half the time the stories with her initials on them scared the pants off of me. I want to say thank you to everyone at Tor.com, which has been wonderful to work with. Everyone at the Sycamore Hill workshop in 2019 for helping me make this a better story, and particularly Usman Malik, who might be in the audience tonight, but he championed the story to Ellen so quickly that she was in my inbox asking to see it before I even got up the hill from the classroom. I want to thank my agent, Kim May Kirtland, who is wonderful, and my wife, Sue, who is still the person I would want to be trapped in a house with, even after 2 years of being trapped in a house together. I want to say thank you to my family, who are supportive even when I write creepy things instead of my usual stuff. I want to say thank you to my dogs for walking me and for not waking up while I do this right now, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. To Kellen Sparrow, who had nothing to do with this story, but he's been walking around this con to my events with my head on an iPad so I wouldn't feel left out. And that meant the world to me, because I really want to be there with you. This story was a 20-year work in progress. I wrote about Uncle Bob and his show in a fragment for my last undergrad writing workshop, and I only figured out what to do with it by rediscovering it when I was ready to finally write it. So have patience with yourselves, writers. And I want to say thank you to all the other writers in this category, and really every writer in every category, and every writer who isn't on the finalist list too, since an award list is only a small snapshot of the bigger picture of short fiction published every year. And there's so many wonderful stories published that go unrecognized. Your stories challenge me to try to write my best story again and again and again, and I'm a better writer for the existence of your brilliant work. Thank you, and yeah, hug each other because I can't be there.
Next is the Hugo for Best Novella. This is awarded to a science fiction or fantasy story of between 17,500 and 40,000 words. The finalists are Come Tumbling Down, Shannon McGuire, Tor.com. The Empress of Salt and Fortune, Nevo, Tor.com. Fina, Nino Supri, Tor.com. Ring Shout, Fenderson Jelly Clark, Tor.com. Riot Baby, Tochi Adebuchi, Tor.com. Upright Women Wanted, Sarah Gailey, Tor.com. And the winner is, for Best Novella, Tor.com! No, but seriously, the winner for Best Novella, The Empress of Salt and Fortune, Nevo, Tor.com.
The Empress of Salt and Fortune is about power, storytelling, and the anger of women. This debut novella begins the story of Empress Inyo and her tumultuous rise to power in an empire resonant with Imperial China. This is Nevo's first nomination and win for Best Novella.
The Empress of Salt and Fortune is a story about stories, specifically the ones that are ignored, buried, forgotten, or hidden. If you're living in a world that wants you not just, if not dead, then silent, you know exactly the stories. I think you know exactly the stories I'm talking about. I was very much alone when I wrote The Empress of Salt and Fortune. It was pulled from the unagented slush pile at Tor.com. Rishi Chen was the first person who ever read it. I never thought I minded being alone until I realized in bits and pieces that I never have been. Realizing that you're not alone and that you never were is a triumph. And it is one that Empress shares with every novella on the Hugo slate. Our stories are no longer hidden, and they will not be ignored. We're not going to allow it. Nothing is accomplished alone, least of all a story. To Rishi Chen and the whole team at Tor.com, my cover artist, Alyssa Winans, my agent, Diana Fox, my narrator, Cindy Kay, my friends who have shared their lives with me, and everyone who, against all the odds, have made their stories heard. Thank you.
And now, the Hugo for Best Series, which honors a writer who has produced a science fiction or fantasy series of at least 3 volumes and 240,000 words with a work published in 2020. The finalists are the Devabad, the Devabad trilogy, Shannon Chakraborty, The Interdependency, John Scalzi. Shannon Chakraborty's was Harper Voyager, and John Scalzi is Tor Books, not Tor.com. We want to give it all to Tor.com, but this is Tor Books. The Lady Astronaut Universe, Mary Robinette Kowal. Tor Books, Audible magazine of fantasy and science fiction. The Murderbot Diaries, Martha Wells, Tor.com. October Day, Shannon McGuire, Daw. Shannon. Oh, Shannon, thank you. I'm about to fall over here. This is like past my bedtime. So, Shannon McGuire, Daw. The Poppy War, R.F. Kwong, Harper Voyager. And the winner is, see what I mean? I can't even get the envelope open. Luckily, this is my last envelope. The Murderbot Diaries, Martha Wells, Tor.com.
The Murderbot Diaries follows an anxious, sarcastic, and newly independent security unit with a hacked governor module. Sec Unit mostly uses this newfound freedom to watch soap operas, but also finds themselves inconveniently making friends and developing emotions. Currently, the series is composed of 5 novellas and 1 novel. This is Martha Wells' second nomination and first win in this category.
Whew, okay. First, I want to say how honored I was for the Murderbot Diaries to be among the nominees this year. This entire ballot is a showcase, an example of all the brilliant work that is being done across the field by writers who are pushing the boundaries of what science fiction and fantasy is now and what it will be in the future. I'm so proud of all of you. In a year that felt like a terrible, inevitable climax to everything that had come before, at least for me, these novels and stories and all the other work on this ballot were all bright spots, like life preservers in a very dark sea. I've been in this field since my first novel was published in 1993, and it has not always been good to me. At first I was too young, and later I was too old. I was from the wrong place. I had the wrong accent. I wasn't friends with the right people. And I know the amount of shit I've experienced is a small fraction compared to what writers of color and other marginalized writers have experienced and continue to experience in this field. There are people who don't want you to write. They especially don't want you to write. They especially don't want you to write and be published. They want all stories to be told by people who are just like them. They have many different ways of letting you know that, and they all add up, and sometimes the weight of it is crushing. I know sometimes it's unavoidable because of health problems or other things you just can't do anything about. But if you feel you're being pushed out of this field and you don't want to be, I hope you will continue to write and write your stories and tell your truth and push yourself back in.
because you never know what might happen if you keep trying. Your story may be the lifeline that your readers desperately need to pull them to shore. Thank you to everyone who voted for Murderbot. I would also like to thank my agent, Jennifer Jackson, Michael Curry, and also my editor, Lee Harris, publisher Irene Gallo, and everyone else at Tor.com, my awesome audiobook narrator, Kevin R. Free, and everyone at Recorded Books, and cover artist Jamie Jones, and cover designer Christine Foltzer, and to everyone at Subterranean Press, and artist Tommy Arnold. And thanks and love to my husband, Troyce. Thank you.
And now, the last award of the evening, the Hugo for Best Novel. This is awarded to a science fiction or fantasy story of 40,000 words or more. The finalists are Black Sun, Rebecca Roanhorse, Gallery, Saga Press. The City We Became, N.K. Jemisin, Orbit. Harold the Ninth, Tamsin Muir, Tor.com. Network Effect, Martha Wells, Tor.com. Piranesi, Susanna Clark, Bloomsbury. The Relentless Moon, Mary Robinette Kowal, Tor Books. And the winner of the 2021 Best Novel Hugo Award No, not again. Is that Vice President Kamala Harris?
Oh, okay.
Living in Washington, D.C. must be buck wild. I can't do this.
No interruption without representation. So anyway, you were saying the Hugo for best novel goes to
Network Effect, Martha Wells, Tor.com.
Network Effect is the highly anticipated first novel from the Murderbot Diaries. The novel follows Sec Unit as they try to save their former employers turned friends after they are unexpectedly captured by a mysterious adversary. Martha Wells has previously been nominated for Best Series and won for Best Novella in 2018 and 2019. This is her first win for Best Novel and her second win of the evening.
This is going to be very anticlimactic because I don't have another speech. I'd like to think, no, I don't know anything about slime molds. And that right now I can't remember anything I do know, so. Wow, okay. I'd like to thank everyone, especially my friends who have put up with me being so nervous and helped me so much this weekend that we've been here. And my husband, who's helped me so much. And I could read the part again about everybody at Tor.com. But yeah, Murderbot wouldn't exist without Tor.com and Lee Harris and Irene Gallo and everyone there who has just been so supportive and who has let me write my strange little robot story that so many people love. And I just can't thank you all enough for the love you've shown both me and Murderbot. So thank you.
Congratulations, winners. Congratulations, finalists. It has been a joy and an honor to be here together.
As fans and as part of this wonderful community.
Community. It's Andrea, it's me, it's you.
And Ben, Nancy, Lauren, and Marguerite. It's all the winners and finalists. It's the more than 400 staff and volunteers who came together to make DisCon 3 possible.
It's everyone in this ballroom tonight in this lovely hotel, everyone watching this stream, because it's what you just said, Andrea. We're all here together as fans.
The newbies and the longtime fans.
The creators and the audience.
Whether you've seen only one episode of Doctor Who or all 972 seasons.
Whether you prefer the mass media blockbuster tie-ins or the innovative indies operating on the fringe.
Every single one of us, with our varying thoughts and opinions, varying likes and dislikes, varying backgrounds and identities and genders and ethnicities and ages and abilities.
Clap if you believe in community and celebrating fandom.
So winners and presenters, please remember to stay for photos.
Thank you to the DisCon 3 staff, the volunteers for putting on an amazing show tonight.
And thank you for attending and watching and voting.
And most of all, thank you for being a fan.
Yeah. I'm Andrea Hairston.
I'm Sheree Renée Thomas.
And see you next year in Chicago!
Jazz hands! Woo!
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. We did it. Yeah.